Da 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 da. Hi, well, happy Halloween from Budget Girl, and today I'm going to talk to you about changes in your budget. That is, as you can see, I've dressed up for Halloween in the cheapest possible costume imaginable. I took a black dress and sweater from my closet and added paper lapels and a necklace and braided my hair so I'm Wednesday Addams like a lot of the internet. Apparently that's a very popular costume this year, but for me it was free. So I put together my November budget today, and I was looking through my old budgets because I keep them all in Google Docs on an Excel sheet, and I make a new one every month. And I found it really interesting to see how my budget has changed over the past couple of years. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples to show you why not only is it okay for your budget to change, but it's really, really good and can show you progress. So I have 3 November budgets, 2012, 2013, and 2014. Now in 2012, I was still living in Mississippi, in Columbus, and I was actually making the exact same amount I make now before tax. I was making $12.50 an hour at a newspaper there, but there was something very different. There weren't any benefits, no 401k, and I didn't qualify for overtime. So in 2012, my take-home pay was $1,600 a month, where currently my take-home pay, after 15% out for taxes, 6% out for my 401k, and, 200, I don't know the exact percentages, but I also have dental insurance and life insurance and vision insurance. So those take out a little bit of money too. But basically I lose almost $16,000 a year in taxes. And I did all the math. It was sad, actually. But basically, my take-home pay when I lived in Mississippi, even though I made the same wage, was $1,600 a month. And my take-home pay now is $1,473, which is a number, my baseline number I use after taxes, the minimum that I'll get for a 40-hour week. I am eligible for overtime here, which I throw entirely to whatever thing I'm working on right now. It's my car fund. As soon as my car fund is funded, it will be my small student loan. So that's one good thing, that I'm eligible for overtime now, and I'm able to make more money by doing that. Also, it's good that I have vision and dental insurance and life insurance, but I am actually operating with a slightly lower monthly budget than I was in 2012. But there's something really interesting about this. I am being a much better steward of my money now, 2 years later, than I was in November of 2012, and I'm going to show you why. And this is a perfectly fine starter budget. I hadn't been doing them very long at this point, but I'm going to tell you some of what I was spending on some categories here. My tithe was $50, which apparently I did not make that month. I was saving $200. Rent was $400. Car insurance, $80. Netflix, I was paying $50 a month for a gym, $60 a month for internet. I was only paying $28 on my student loans. Groceries, $200. Restaurant, $150. Gas, $20, because I had a work reimbursement thing. And I had $75 assigned to Taekwondo lessons, but apparently I didn't pay it that month or something. And I had $200 for personal spending and $50 for debt repayment. Now, in this month, November 2012, I went $98.99 over budget, apparently because I bought a laptop and just did a lot of overspending in personal. I spent $569 in personal this month. A large $300 of that was for the laptop. Forgive me. And I think that's the same laptop I still have now. It should be. And I had this big old list of debts here. I don't know if you can see it, but this yellow box had just like a bunch of tiny little debts for going to the doctor and just money I owed for things. And at the time, my student loans down here, it says I owed $4,567 on my small student loan, where the balance is currently just a little over $2,000. and $26,792 on my big student loan, where the balance in that is much lower now as well. I think it's at like 23, 24. I focus more on the main number. Basically, my total debt was $32,262.38. Wow. So, that was 2012. In 2013, I had moved here. I had only been here a couple of months, but my budget then was just the highlights. I was saving $100, rent $350, groceries $210, restaurant $80. So that's a drop. Well, kinda. In 2012, it was $200 and $150 for groceries and restaurant. In 2013, it was $210 and $80, and my personal budget was $120. So I dropped that down. I'd learned to live on a little less. When in 2012, my personal budget was $200, and I had busted that big time. But, look at 2014. All right. Currently, tithe, $100, savings, $50, which goes to my car fund, rent, $350, car insurance, $87, phone, $31, internet, $30, electrical, $40, groceries and household, $150, down from $200 and $210 the previous 2 years. Restaurant, $50. I've gotten it down to where I only spend $50 a month on restaurants, when previously I had spent $150 in 2012, and where'd it go? I think it was 80. Yeah, 80 in 2013. Gas, $60. Animal, $10. Personal spending, $60. Down from $200 and $120. Down to $60. That's basically $20 a week that I'm able to spend on personal items, and that includes clothes and other little like things that I want but don't really need. So, and then I have 3 sinking funds, which I'm going to talk about in another video, but basically I have a sinking fund for Rory's annual shots and heartworm medication, and I do $10 a month for that, and by the time it rolls around, I have enough money in a savings account that's dedicated just to that, so I don't have to bust my budget. Same with sick day, $15, which pays for like medicines if I get sick, and my flu shot, and Christmas sinking fund, which is currently $30. That's up a little higher because I didn't start that until June or July, I think. But basically all of that money goes into a bank savings account, and I use it just as a budget line every month, and I take that out like a bill, and I pay it to that savings account, so when Christmas comes around, I've got money there. It's really, really helpful, because then you don't bust everything when you come around to Christmas. But yeah, I mean, these 3 budgets might as well be for completely different people. Over the last 2 years, I have apparently learned to cut my grocery budget quite a bit, cut my eating out so much. Apparently I used to eat out so much. I have a list here of the dates and where I ate out and how much I spent. And in 2012, I went to Ryan's, I went to Umi's, which was my favorite sushi restaurant, La Fiesta, Mexican, Sonic, McDonald's, Umi's again, Sonic again, McAllister's, Christie's, Taco Bell, China Royal, La Fiesta again, KFC, and Burger King, all in the same month. No wonder I'm fat. I mean, good Lord, look at that. I spent $145 on food, on eating out that month. And now I do it where I can eat out once a week. I prepare meals the rest of the time. It's a lot healthier, and it saves a lot of money. It's I've got my restaurant built down to 1/3 of what it was 2 years ago. So these are some changes I made over time, but it's kind of you go as you need and you try to get better as you need to. I probably spent a little less on groceries one month, so I just decided to try to do it the following month with that same amount that I ended up with. Or there was a need in another category that I saw, and so I decided I had to cut back on something. And I'm sure 2 years from now my budget will look completely different, even if I'm making more, which hopefully I will. Hopefully I won't be making less than I did do now 2 years from now. But overall, the huge differences I really see are groceries, where 2 years ago I spent $200 a month. Now I spend $150. Restaurant, I spent $150, and now I spend $50. Personal, where I spent $200, and now I spend $60. And the huge one, the one that really, really has helped my entire life, is in 2012, I spent $28 on my student loan, and now I spend $400. Plus, that's just budgeted, $400 budgeted, and plus whatever I make on my side gigs and other stuff. Eventually, my overtime will go to that too. But don't be afraid to make edits to your budget. I usually make just a little note up here, like this month, I added my sick day sinking fund because I had my flu shot this month and I realized that that wasn't in my budget and it probably should be. So I added that sinking fund where I'm going to put $15 a month into a savings account so that when I get sick or when I need a shot or something like that, I'll have a little bit of a fund there since I don't have health insurance. And I'll have that specifically for that. Now I also have my emergency fund. If I were to really get sick and have to go to the doctor, I doubt that that little sick day fund would cover it. But I do have my $1,000 emergency fund in place in case I were to have to go to the doctor and got stuck with a huge bill. I also tweaked, and tweaking is important too, my pet category. It used to be 20, now it's 10. My restaurant budget, I think I brought that down another 10 because I added the sick day fund, and you know the money has to come from somewhere, so I think I took $10 out of my pet fund and $5 out of my restaurant fund. And I just tweak a couple of other categories, and that's just the way it works. If it doesn't work, if I mess something up, I'll tweak it again next month. And eventually, it doesn't seem like you're doing much, but looking back over the course of time, I've just made vast improvements. I can't imagine living on the budget I had set in 2012, even though I had technically more money. This is a much better one for me right now. So tweak your budget. Tell me below if there are any changes that you have made that have made a big difference in your budget. Or, and this is really fun, if you've been doing it for a while, look back at an old budget and see kind of how far you've come. Because it's kind of uplifting. So, I will see you next time, and I hope you have a very happy and safe Halloween. And don't forget, free candy. Stock up. Bye.